Hello, good morning. Thank you for being here. I think that we will start slowly, but we will start with our session. My name is Nerea Gomez. I work as Project and Policy Officer at ECTP, the European Construction and Sustainable Built Environment Technology Platform. I'm delighted to welcome you to this session organized under the framework of the Metabuilding Labs Open Innovation Testbed, which is a European network of testing facilities and innovation services for new technologies in the built environment. We have some fantastic presentations ahead, so let's get started. First, I would like to welcome my colleague Germain Adell, General Director of the Metabuilding Association, who will introduce us to the complete Metabuilding ecosystem.
Thank you, Nerea. Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. We have some public here. I would like to know who you are. So our public. So I will just ask some questions. So are you working for a research center or a university? No. Are you coming from a company selling services or selling products? Yes. An association, a cluster. I cannot hear you, but well, the idea is to know a little bit. We have something for everyone. So you will see, and after the presentations, we can engage in dialogue if you wish. So the idea is that we present. So I have my. No, here it is. So as Nerea said, we are a network of service providers in the construction sector to facilitate innovation. So we have a technical name. This is Open Innovation Testbed. This is something the European Commission coined to refer to this network of actors that are set up to help innovation grow. But this is a technical term, so we use network, which is more understandable. And we have, of course, we are backed by a European project, as you see. This is an ambitious project, which is running since 4 years ago. So this is a snapshot of our ecosystem. So the idea is that we work for innovation, how we do it. So let me use this analogy. So if an innovation can be, for instance, a seed that you plant and the seed grows, this is one innovation. You can have another innovation, a new material, a new component for the construction, a new software, etc. What we aim to do is not to work, yes, of course, to work these seeds, grow faster and succeed, and so the product can go to a market. But we are also working on preparing the soil for these seeds. So, or also working to have enough water for this plant to grow. So the conditions of innovation are very important for us. That's why this network that you see here, you have very, very nice and important national laboratories that work with innovators. We test almost everything you can imagine for the construction sector. So if you are in, you know, but if you are not, every time you have an innovation, you have a new idea, a new component. This can be a new window, a new roof, a new facade system, etc. You need, of course, to comply with a lot of regulations. You need to have your certification. So hope it's a very good thing that we live in Europe. So sometimes we complain about norms, but norms are very important for quality, etc. So you have to complain. So for ensuring security of people living in buildings, so building is a critical sector. So we know we need to be compliant. So we provide these kind of services. Metabuilding Labs as a network we can do over 750 different kind of tests in our network. We have more than 100 testing facilities in the network and devices, but we also have, the bottom part of the slide is our labs, and the upper side of this, the slide show other kind of partners, other kind of members. So the ECTP, PTEC, they are technology platforms, kind of clusters of construction. Then the European Network of Living Labs, Housing Europe, these are clusters. Clusters are very important because there you can find industrials, you can find every type of stakeholders, but also basically, and very important for us, clusters and regional clusters host SMEs. And indeed, SMEs are the final, let's say, target that we have, because the construction sector is formed by 99% of companies in the construction sector producing 80% of the economic output of the construction sector in Europe are SMEs. And 99% of those SMEs have less than 10 people as staff. So you imagine what a nightmare can be for a small company like this, try to find the right service provider to help them develop a new product, etc. It's very complicated. So, to address this problem, we have this network which has a single entry point. So the single entry point, what we call a single entry point, is very easy. Is the way this network holds together. We have an institution for that, which is the Metabuilding Association, but and more important than this for you, we have a very nice digital platform. So I will show it later on. We also have an ecosystem. So we call this ecosystem, what I mentioned before, the ground, etc. So this is an ecosystem. You have probably heard of open innovation. So open innovation is the new way to do innovation. We don't close ourselves in our companies and try to come up with the best idea, but we open up to others and we collaborate, we contribute. So if you go further than open innovation, you arrive to innovation ecosystem. That means, okay, we open up, but we need to connect with people. So innovation ecosystem is just that. So people connecting, institution connecting, and then you have a fertile ground for innovation seed to grow. So we are doing this. And so this is part of our extended ecosystem. So we have direct access to something which is called Build for People Innovation Cluster Network. So Build for People is a partnership between the European Commission and the industrial sector of construction. So there's research money from the European Commission to do research, and they have an action to favor the emergence of what we call innovation clusters, so Build for People innovation clusters, that we are trying to support them. There are some projects to do that, and there are some conditions to be a Build for People innovation cluster, and so we are periodically opening up expression of interest from clusters, so to join this ecosystem, and we currently have 34 Build for People innovation clusters in Europe. The idea is that these clusters are connected to our network and other network, technical network that can be there. So they connect, so they are ready to connect the innovators that need technical assistance or support, etc., to the service providers that can do that for them. So this is not our digital platform. This is a slide where I can explain. Metabuilding.com is our platform, and it's free for use for everyone. So you can join the platform, register as a user. You can have your company page in the Metabuilding.com platform, and this is for free forever. And so you can showcase your services, your company, and have your own. You can also do something, what I call ecosystem services. So you can have and see information about funding, financing. We have a nice product and technology database where you can find technology assets produced sometimes in European projects. Sometimes these assets just are lacking a little bit of development to reach the market, but they are there. So anyone can use them, can, of course, if they like, they can contact the owner of that technology. So this can be the origin of new research project, new development project, of ventures, ventures to go and reach the market with that technology, etc. We also have collaboration opportunities. So we have what we call matchmaking. So you can post messages there. I am seeking for, partners for a new project. I'm seeking for partners to venture to put this product in the market, etc. So you can have and use this matchmaking function. We have things for clusters and innovation system. And we have the blue part is you can reach out to our services. So our professional services to support innovation with something we call innovation coaching, which means that in general, innovators that need it for help, they don't exactly know what they need, if they need a certification, if they need to be compliant with this regulation or not. So we provide technical assistance via an innovation coach, which is an expert that can work with the innovators and really ease the access to all the things that they are needed. This is a snapshot of the platform. So you have everything I mentioned before. So I encourage you and invite you to go there and register if you haven't, and take a look at that. So this is Metabuilding Association. There you see our members. So a lot of nice technology centers, some universities, very important. And also we are, so new additions as members, the European Network of Living Labs, the BDTA, Building Digital Twin Association. They are joining at this moment to our association. We are very happy about that. And we are also a partner in European projects. So we are active, we are proactive in research and innovation, and we participate to new European funded projects. This is something we have very specific for Metabuilding Labs. We have come up and designed a new kind of test bench. This is I'm sorry, Emre, I will use a technical term, TRL 6. So Technology Readiness Level 6. This is sometimes in your way to put a product on the market. Before testing a product in real building with real people inside, you need to have a test bench in real scale, almost real conditions, and this is it. So these little buildings there are able to test big 1-on-1 scale, 3 meters by 3 meters solutions for the building envelope. So typically facade systems, and we have these are in a network. For once, they are backed up by a digital twin. So anything you test there, you have the digital model of it. And so you can see what's happening in your test. This is the digital twin. And then we have a network of them. We are building 7 of them in different countries, as you see, with different climate. And this is important. When you develop a product for the building envelope, you want to know if it performs well in hot weather, in cold weather, under humidity conditions, etc. So we have 7 of them across Europe where you can test your products and then compare results in the network. And you have, of course, a nice group of experts in this kind of tests that will support anything we do there. We also have something which is important, is what we call the pilot building matchmaking module. If you are in innovation, you know that I mentioned before, you need at a certain point to test your innovation in a real building with real people inside. And this is very, very hard to find. So a building owner that offers or puts at the disposal of an innovator its building to test in real conditions something is very hard to find. So we have created this module with Housing Europe, which is a very big and nice association of social housing providers in Europe. So we are setting up this database of buildings that will be refurbished and are planned already to be refurbished that may be suitable pilots for testing new products. This is a snapshot of how it looks, the information of the building in this database. And then we come up to how this can concern you. So we want every stakeholder in the construction sector to be engaged with us. As you have understood, probably the more people are using our metabuilding.com platform or are in our ecosystem, the better for everyone, because you are sure to find a partner, you are sure to find a product, you are sure to find the right service for you. So the more we are, the better it will be. So we have two ways to engage. So, and we call it access the ecosystem or shape the ecosystem. But access the ecosystem is what we call our affiliate membership. So this is for companies. You are not. One is for, let's say, to be really very easy explained. Either you are a service provider in the research and development and testing services. This is the right part, the red one. Or you are a company that may need these services, or you are an SME, you are an engineering agency, a producer, etc. And this is what we call the affiliate membership. It's very, very affordable. You have a lot of advantages. So you are being in the ecosystem, connecting with others, accessing to the right information for you, technology reports, discounts on the events we organize, conference, webinars, etc., etc. So this is what we offer to our affiliate members. We are starting up with this. And in 2026, we will have a lot of events that we will organize, technical reports, etc. This is very affordable. You have the condition in our booth, so you can take a look at that. And if you are a technology center, a university, you do testing, you do support to innovation, etc. We want you also to be here with us as an active member. And so you can showcase your services and your installation and your infrastructure with us in the Metabuilding platform and everything we do. And that's it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Germain, for this great overview on the Metabuilding, the complete Metabuilding ecosystem. And now it is my turn. So I'll be talking about how we are fostering innovation on a European scale from the strategic role of ECTP and the Build for People partnership, as well as how we believe that the Build for People innovation clusters, already mentioned by Germain, they act as real like agents of change on the ground. So first, let me introduce you to ECTP and what we do. ECTP, the European Construction and Sustainable Built Environment Technology Platform, is a membership organization promoting and shaping the future of the built environment in Europe and beyond. We bring together more than 150 member organizations from across the construction sector and also the whole supply chain of the built environment. We have from professional associations, the big players, SMEs, RTOs and universities, and we gather 27 countries. So we build our activities around the main trends, but also the challenges shaping the sector today. They have evolved over time. In fact, last year we celebrated our 20th anniversary, so you can imagine that our activities have evolved over time, but they have always been in line with the European Commission's priorities but also the needs of the industry. So we believe that innovation in the construction sector is no longer optional, it is an absolute necessity. The built environment and the related industries must evolve towards carbon neutrality, so resource efficiency, circularity, and sobriety in usage. Buildings need to become an active part of the cities, being greener, smarter, and more inclusive, whilst the infrastructure must adapt to new technologies in order to become more resilient. What we mean, like our main conclusion is that the sector as a whole must embrace innovation, digitalization, and new materials to move towards a truly circular and low-carbon built environment. So based on this, we organize our strategic work around 6 thematic committees that you can see in the slide are completely aligned with all the priorities and trends in my last slide. And then one of our key activities in ECTP is the Build for People partnership. So we are running it on the private side together with the public side, which is the European Commission. So what it is, this Build for People partnership, it is a policy cross-cutting initiative promoting climate neutral, sustainable, and resource efficient buildings, while taking also into account other relevant European policies, such as, for example, the preservation of our European cultural heritage. The Build for People partnership brings together partners from across the whole built environment value chain to create a cleaner, safer, smarter, and more affordable built environment, using a people-centric or holistic approach that combines high-quality architecture with low-carbon energy and resource-efficient design. In this context, and through 2 CSA projects, which were Nebula, the first one that already finished, and Star Trek, we have created this Build for People Innovation Cluster Network. But what is exactly a Build for People Innovation Cluster, what we call Build for PIC? So it is a group of innovation-driven stakeholders that are typically formed by 1 or 2 local or regional clusters that engage in a maturation process in order to foster European-scale multidisciplinarity and sustainable innovation in the built environment. This maturation process is guided, on one hand, by the general and specific objectives of Build for People, but also they are based on the New European Bauhaus core values and working principles. And now I would like to just briefly present you what is this maturation process about. So the first stage, when an innovation cluster, a hub, or a platform, they express interest in becoming a Build for PIC, they automatically are considered what we call prospective Build for PICs. Then, if they decide to apply, they get accepted, they will sign the Build for People charter, the Build for PIC charter, on the basis of a commitment to progress towards the required maturity. Through this maturation process, they will work on diversifying innovation actors or enhancing cross-sector and cross-border collaboration, among many other steps. At this stage, they will be called emerging Build for PICs, and then with time, when they have worked on the maturation process and they can demonstrate that they meet the required maturity, they will finally identify as established Build for PICs. So this is the current situation of the Build for People Innovation Network as of November of this year. We have in total 34 innovation clusters from the 21 countries in Europe 27 and beyond. And what I mean, why I'm talking about Build for People innovation clusters in this session, because they are really important for us. We see them as the true agents of change on the ground, and that is why it is crucial for us to support them, to guide them through this maturation process, and to provide them with tools that will make their work easier and more effective. So one of these tools is, by the way, the Metabuilding platform. It streamlines cluster management, helping Build for Peaks effortlessly organize member relationships and leverage data-driven insights to deliver target content and events. The platform offers multiple benefits for clusters, of course, for the Build for Peaks. It enhances collaboration and communication. It helps grow their membership and strengthen their membership, or connect clusters to national and European networks for a greater impact. So in conclusion, Build for Peaks are at the heart of driving sustainable innovation in the built environment, and supporting them remains our top priority. So thank you very much for your attention. I encourage you to take a look at both websites. And that's all from my side. So now we will be changing a little bit. We will continue with Emre Jontem, who is the CEO of EcoWise, and he will be talking about the Data Foundation for Circular Construction.
Sound check, sound check. Thank you very much, Nerea. Thank you for being here at this early time on the torrential rain day, not an easy day. We're just drying up as well, so we just made it. Metabuilding Association and Metabuilding Labs as a project, as a vehicle has been mentioned, and it's all coming up from this EU idea of Build for People innovation clusters. What we want to showcase or just present as one of the founders and partners of this network is just a use case of how certain data-driven technologies can enable what Nerea and Germain mentioned. Who are we? We're EcoWise. We're a London-based software and technology company. We have been involved in the Metabuilding and Metabuilding Labs, and we're the founding partners of the Metabuilding Association, as well as other roles in circular economy-related data interoperability projects. So we are leading the United Circles project, as well as one of the flagship digital product passport projects, which is called Surpass. And as you may know, the construction sector is a core actor involved in this digital product passport network. So let me start by looking at the diverse actors in the supply chain of construction, and also construction products manufacturing, asset management. So we have different types of actors who have different needs, and there's a demand and supply chain, obviously, as you can imagine. Let's start by saying the Metabuilding platform is capable to serve or support all of those actors that we are referring to. It has different capabilities for RTOs, technology providers, etc., which I'll try to main. So you can see it as a melting pot or a communication platform for all of those actors. I will look from the standpoint of how the construction product developers and the building and asset owners could benefit, and us providing the technologies related to them. So from a regulatory perspective of the potential stakeholders in the construction supply chain, if we look at the regional governments or cities or municipalities, there's of course their core needs, their core concerns about citizens' well-being, climate goals, and financial. It's just the cores of sustainability, you might say. And there is an ongoing and evolving regulatory framework, especially from the EU, driven from the EU, and also there's local ones as well. Some of those would be related with health and safety. Some others are related with construction product regulation, digital product passports. Major cities have their carbon reduction commitments, etc. And they need digital tools to enable that. The Eco-Design for Sustainable Products Regulation is an example. It looks at the supply and delivery and the logistics of sustainable products, let me say, and they are very keen on trying to converge the EU construction sector and construction materials in that framework as well. There are 36 different construction product groups that need to be providing their digital product passports in a certain time frame, and you will see on the right side. And it starts from some basic core cement and steel-like materials, but it easily moves towards the facade and similar components. They will all need to have their digital product passports, which will carry their carbon data in the certain standards. And that, of course, all need to converge into the buildings that we're building or refurbishing. And there are digital building logbook or refurbishment passports as regulatory frameworks for that. And obviously, Metabuilding platform, via there, one of the services we have is trying to support this as well. So we have a digital product passport module enabled from the digital Metabuilding platform. Obviously, there is, let's say, a normalized new framework that is coming up for product carbon footprints. And this is going to be also a globally required standard. So meaning EU is driving the PCF, product carbon footprint calculations, and their standards beyond the existing ISO 4000 group. There's now these new ones, and the environmental product declarations of the products are now being also converged or aligned with these regulations. So it's not easy to comply with that. So if you're an asset owner, developer, construction company, or a construction product manufacturer, you have to comply with this. You have to innovate. You have to validate your capabilities in different pilots and environments. And of course, you have to find new markets and you grow. And that is not easy. So that's where Metabuilding comes in. The platform supports the technology readiness level increase, which you mentioned as well. The TRL levels need to go up as we evolve. We have to look at regulatory compliance, and we have innovation coaches inside the platform who can do that for you. We allow showcasing and piloting and verification. And on top of that, we provide digital tools. Some of them free for use and some of them free for members. So please come talk to us about our digital building logbook and digital product passport solution. So the designers and supervisors, the architects, the commissioners, also the verification bodies have also to look at sustainable design principles. They have to verify the carbon assessment content and also make sure this content they are providing is secure and shared in a trusted and transparent manner. That's not an easy task as well. So the Metabuilding platform, we can say we stay at the center of this supply, demand and supply chain. So you can tell the citizens, the government stay on the demand side. They regulated the whole construction sector and the materials try to supply that, and there's this also verification aspect. What we try to do is support all of those parties. Let me give you an example of how. So on the left is our digital building logbook, and on the right you can see a digital product passport. These are all machine readable. So what you see is not just a web page that you can see on any website. The EU is developing standards on how the construction products need to be defined, what sort of information has to be inside it, and how this can be machine readable. Meaning, on the construction side, if this nice product on the right side appears with the QR code, either Metabuilding platform or any other platform that you have for construction processes, the QR code's content has to be A, machine readable, and B, trustworthy. Meaning, there is a complete backend capability that verifies the content is true and it is verified by third parties, external parties. So that is a product passport's overall concept that feeds into a building logbook. And I don't want to go into too much detail, but beyond the physical labels, if there's one thing you want to read, it's the one at the bottom. These product passports and the building logbooks can be reported to governmental bodies. It will allow the products pass through customs. It will allow the buildings be used for building permits. The overall logic is to consolidate this regulatory required data in digital logbooks in the standardized framework. And we can help you with that. And it is an emerging need, as you will see in various environments. I just want to mention a couple of features. The security levels, of course, every data has to be secure and private, but we have to have a very clear way of identifying these actors. There's also a way of using digital signatures for every action, and certain data in the product passports is not public. It is your private data. You don't want to share it with everyone. You have a photovoltaic panel or a certain technology. You have a certain data that just needs to go to the maintenance experts or you want certain data to be collected for recycling purposes, but that's not public, it's competitive data. For that, we have standards as well. This is called selective disclosure. We have verifiable credentials for that. There's a whole new set of framework coming from the EU, and the EU is doing both digital product passport legislation for the construction sector, as well as setting up data standards, as well as carrying on pilots. And we are involved in all of those. If that is something that is going to help your business thrive or get competitive, talk to us, please. Just simple examples, and I just need to, because I don't have a live demo here, but I will have one there. You can think about the digital building logbook as a consolidator, a collector of different components, reinforced concrete, and you can have also other cement content, and we can look at BIM objects of walls or slabs or columns be imported as components of buildings, and you can have specific data on every type of test and verification made on site about that construction process, which can allow you for future responsibility and liability management. So if there's a fire door that has to be tested and verified, you can record it. Most important is if there's an unfortunate event like the Grenfell Tower or some disastrous fire or etc. event, you can trace back. In London, when we had the terrible incident of the Grenfell Tower where close to 100 people unfortunately passed away, they started in the center of London in Hammersmith, very close to our office, they started an investigation. Investigation is still ongoing after 8 years. They're trying to find who are liable for the losses of those. But if you have this traceability and the governments are demanding this, then you have this platform, and your clients, if you're a constructor or a material producer, are willing to work with you because you have this transparency capability in your system, holistic system. I will need to just jump these slides because there are some screenshots of how these different, this is a building or a construction process. The QR code, you can scan it. I will have a bigger one soon. And this is in compliance with multiple standards we're looking at. There's a digital building logbook standards, also the new EPBD going to ask for new standards. There's the GS1 standards for information on products. We'll have PACT standards for carbon data carrying. And all of the contents in them, if you click to one component, which is a wall, then you can have a passport that carries information about that wall as well. So you can break it down into manageable and machine readable, most important. This is just an interface for us humans, but all the content in there is machine readable. So you can pass the QR code of the building to the client you have after the construction, and all this breakdown, including all the verification and liabilities, will be transferred in that in a trusted manner. So that's the core logic I'm trying to pass here. Multiple components, they all lead to the level of steel and metal sheets and everything that we have used in the building. They are integrated, and we are piloting this in various environments. And most importantly, at the end, you have all the verification systems. I'm almost done. I will have 1 or 2 slides to finish this. Sorry. Because of the, What you get at the end, a verified set of data for the building and a verified set of data by the related authorities for every component inside it. And that is coming. The governments and the EU is going to ask for this. Time frame 27, 28. We can talk about it. Obviously, multiple actors. There's a whole infrastructure of digital signatures and cryptographic backend for that, which we're happy to talk about. But what we're basically trying to say is the Metabuilding Association and the platform and the capabilities contained in that is ready to support you for your future green and digital transition in the construction sector. And please do come to talk to us if you're interested, and if we can do piloting and various tests and verification actions together, or if you have ideas that can attach to our platform and be marketed via us as the platform, as EcoWise is one of the solution providers, you can see Metabuilding as a system integrator. So we're here to talk and work on that. If you scan this QR code, that will take you to one building logbook. You will see there's multiple sections. Just you can go ahead and press and play with that. But we are very pleased to talk about this, and we are very pleased to be your solution partner for your digital and green transition, for your future proofing. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Emre. We still have some minutes ahead, so I would like to open the round of questions. I have some questions on my own, but I would like you to give you this opportunity to ask them directly, these fantastic speakers. Any doubt you may have? Any question? Please don't be shy. Just stand up and we will hand you a micro. Yes.
Yeah, so I was just wondering, because I was here, regarding the DPP, the Digital Building Logbook, and all those, I would say, frames that the European Commission is putting up. There's some products that are not under the construction product regulation, either the eco-design regulation, like you already, it was my main question. The ready-mix concrete, for example, is one of those examples when it's in situ. So when we are talking about verifying or validating the final data that is in the digital building logbook, are you using other types of, I would say, digitalization of the information or the certification that comes from the manufacturer that I would assume is voluntary, because it's not something that, it's something that you receive as a construction company, but not, it doesn't have the requirements or the standards that the DPP is putting up. So how do you see those type of products or solutions that may not be under the construction product regulation, for example?
Yeah. Very good question. This is something also as a business we're trying to position ourselves in. It's kind of the stick or carrot question. The stick, which is not, sounds not the best, but the regulatory requirements are emerging. But then there's always the carrot. The carrot is the digitalization in the construction process is beneficial to all parties involved. And there's a lot of bottom-up engagement on carrying out the data management in the aspect we presented to you. So to be more concrete, the the cement digital product passport has to be integrated by the end of next year. But we have a use case in Ireland where every batch of concrete that is coming as 7-ton trucks, which are now actually approved by signing a document and that is then put on some document management system, are now being converted into a batch digital product passport, which is approved and accredited by a verified actor. So these type of use cases are emerging because it helps a lot with the efficiency and reliability of the process. When you have a reinforced concrete wall, you have to know every batch of that truck that came at the certain standards. You have to have the also steel reinforcements precisely, of course, installed and construct. And then you have 3 tests, that like the first day, the 14th day, and the 28th day of those pressure tests that validates the reliability of that component. So that is now being carried out on paper, of course, Excels and Words and PDFs, but not on a holistic way. And if there's any problem, you would need to dig a shared folder or something. So we see movement from bottom up towards using these centralized solutions as well. And we hope that will grow and enhance. In the meantime, the regulatory drivers will also be there, and we'll be meeting in the middle in a couple of years. But it's always beneficial for those actors to be prepared for this type of digital transition so that you're not overwhelmed when the regulatory stick comes in 2 years' time. So we see that movement already. But it's an evolutionary thing, and very good question. Thank you.
Indeed, very, very good question, very interesting. I think we can have another question now. There is still some couple of minutes. So, any other question? Okay, so I will ask mine. We are talking about digital building logbooks, digital product passport, construction product regulation, the EPBD recast. So there is a lot going on. How do you consider the construction sector and manufacturers should be following up with all of this?
Thank you. This is a harder question and as valuable. I can approach from where we stand. We are involved in multiple digital product passport use cases and building and platform use cases. We, even as a technology provider, find it hard to follow up. We have an expert on circular economy that's following all the regulations full-time, and it is still a full-time job. And we see a lot of the demand to us is not necessarily a software service tomorrow, but consultancy on how do we adapt this. So that we know that the Commission, I think DigiGrowth has some tenders ongoing for the aligning of these things, but we need to look at the EPBD recast. We need to look at the levels framework. We need to look at the working groups of digital product passports for construction products. We need to look at the construction product regulation requirements. And now what we see, the market is not emerging with a lot of software solutions per se, but there's a lot of consultancy work. It's not an easy task, but we as Metabuilding can also help with that because we can find the right experts for that. And we are trying to create white papers just to guide experts and the sector on that. But honestly, the Commission is also working on it. There has to be more movement, at least alignment, and we are aware there is some action going on. But unfortunately, it's not very clear for the whole industry with so many moving parts. So one of the things that any audience or any future party can do is come talk to us, and we do a lot of free consultancy as well as white papers, etc. Thank you very much.
Indeed, thank you very much. So it's hard work. There's still a lot to do. But unfortunately, we have to conclude this session. Thank you very much for having joined us. However, the session concludes here, but the discussions can continue. We are right there, the Metabuilding stand. So please feel free to come to visit us, and we will happy to continue the discussions. Thank you very much, and have a very nice day.